Hello and welcome to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. I'm Sam, your host, and today we have another exciting episode of Daily Immigration Dose that is streaming live at 4 p.m. EDT. And today I'm also very excited because today I have my co-host Rajni Bharara. And Rajni, welcome to the show. And why don't you go ahead and greet our viewers?
Thank you so much for having me, Sam. Thank you so much. Welcome back, everyone, to Daily Migration Dose. Every day, it's usually Nepasa and Sam, but Nepasa is not feeling well today. So I have to take Nepasa's spot, and I'm going to be co hosting with Sam. And don't worry, she's going to be back tomorrow. But thank you so much for being here. And I'm Rajni Bharara, and today we are diving into the world of DACA. Yes, as I like to call it, the government's favorite cliffhanger. DACA doesn't mean you're officially in, but it's more like, you're cool to stay for now. So it's more like that. So, yes, we are going to talk about DACA in today's daily immigration dose. And to spice it up even more, we'll take a look at how Trump 2.0 might impact it. Yes, we are going to talk a lot about DACA and how Trump's new administration, mostly all of them are against illegal immigration and uh, also they are favoring actually mass deportation, so it's also going to impact DACA. So we are going to have great conversation on this topic, and we are going to share some videos, some articles, some news. So yes, stay with us on Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. Over to you, Sam. What do you have to say? And if you can please enlighten our viewers of
Sure.
what DACA actually stands for.
Thank you so much, Rajni. And I would also like to say that, guys, today we have a very important topic, and as also Rajni mentioned about DACA. So, we are going to talk about the future of DACA, how it's going to be, especially under Trump's administration, and is it going to end under a second Trump administration? And there are so many questions that why Trump is against DACA. What is the reason behind it? Why is he so much anti DACA also? So there is so many questions that we would like to ask. But before that, I think it's always better to have a little background about DACA. So let me share some information about it. That if we talk about DACA, then its full form is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program. And this was actually introduced in 2012 by the Obama administration. The main aim was to allow all the young undocumented immigrants, often referred to as dreamers, who were brought to the US as children, to apply for temporary protection from deportation and work authorization. So, this was basically to help the undocumented immigrants' children. And I don't think, Rajni, that, there should be something. Because it's very rough to understand that Trump is also trying to be anti, I mean, children, anti kids, because these kids are innocent. There's nothing, no false, no nothing wrong they did. But why Trump is trying to be this anti dark, I mean, what can you say? Do you think what can be the reason behind it?
Honestly, Sam, I don't think that he is anti-children or anti-kids. What he's anti is illegal immigration. So if there are undocumented people living in America, or if there are illegal immigrants living in America, he's completely against it. And in 2012, when actually the Obama administration, they started this program, when they started DACA. So before that, I think even uh, President Obama himself, he also, I think somewhere, I don't. I don't want to misquote, or I don't want to be wrong on that. But somewhere I also, while I was researching about it, I somewhere found that he himself also called it unconstitutional, and he was against it. But then in 2012, when the Dream Act, because they proposed Dream Act, and when the Congress didn't approve of it, then then the Obama administration, they actually implemented DACA, and they brought forward DACA, where they helped undocumented children. I mean, see, so honestly, if you ask me, I don't think so that Trump is against children. I feel what he's against is illegal immigrants, and he's against undocumented people. So if you don't have documents, then you're illegal, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, honestly, Sam, you know what I feel? I feel that if you talk about any country, I feel America, I mean, US is the most lenient and the most supportive of immigrants. Have you ever heard that this country is supporting? Let's talk about China. How many immigrants are living in China?
Of course, few.
Right?
I mean, as compared to US, yeah.
Yes, very few.
Right.
And if you talk about America, every year, they actually give. Again, I don't want to be wrong, but as far as I am concerned, I think they give somewhere around 1 million green cards.
Um, I
Yeah.
have to look about upon it. Well, it's a
Right,
huge
right. So if I can, also if I can ask the control to, if you can please, if there's any article on this, if you can please share that how many number of green cards does the US actually give to the immigrants every year? So I think it's somewhere 1 million. So see, if you talk about America, America is it has always been in favor of immigrants, but if you do it legally, right?
Mhm.
If you're doing it legally, there is no harm, there is nothing wrong. But if you are doing it illegally, then I mean, there has to be some action, and there has to be someone who is going to be against it, right? Because then there's going to be so many issues that will rise up, whether it is um, and whether it is the nationals who are getting who are not having jobs, and the house crisis that is going on. So see, nearly 10 million people received their
Yeah,
green cards between 2013 and 2022. So 10 million, can you imagine? Is it
exactly.
have you seen this for any other country?
Honestly, no. But as we also say that America is land of immigrants, so I think America is very much into creating great America. That is why they have been selecting such a best individuals from each country, so that they can work together, and great minds can work together to make something great. I think it's like that, and it's something great, that America is really lenient about immigrants. But now, I think, Rajni, that we need to think about for Trump 2.0 administration, because it is really going to be dangerous, scary, complete up and down. I don't think that something is going to be stagnant. There will be every day we are going to hear something on the other. And before Trump's election only, we need to hear so many things like Trump's assassination, then also the ballots, they were on fire. So there were so many things. And I
I
think for
mean, yes.
DACA also.
Right. I mean, absolutely. Trump has actually signaled that if he was re-elected, if he's re-elected, then he may aim to dismantle DACA. And now that he is re-elected, he may aim to dismantle DACA, the program that that's protected hundreds of thousands of young undocumented immigrants. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to do something about it, because if you talk about his previous term, his first term. So around that time, also in 2017, he actually put a ban on DACA. So I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure. And now that now if you look at his administration, everybody is against illegal immigration. Everybody is for mass deportation. So one can only imagine that there's going to be every possible effort made where they are going to dismantle and ban DACA.
Yeah, but Rajni, that 2017 he also announced to terminate DACA. But
Mhm.
to Supreme Court, I mean, I think there was some kind of 5-4 efforts that Trump made in Supreme Court to terminate DACA. But still, after those 5-4 decisions, also Supreme Court stick to its statement that it was arbitrary and capricious. That means that decision that was made. I mean the Trump that is trying to make to terminate DACA is actually because of his random choice and his personal preference. It's nothing to do with something political. So I
Mhm.
think this is what the statement of the Supreme Court. So I think this is something also very important to understand that this may be the reason, this may not be the reason, but I think this is going to be very conscious, and we need to sit tightly and just be updated with.
We will really have to see whether it's going to happen really or whether it's not going to happen. But honestly, if you think about it, if you talk about it, so I mean, he has given idea. He has been in favor of, banning DACA or dismantling DACA in the past. So I'm pretty sure he's going to also do it now. I mean, this is what it looks like because he is for mass deportation. So anything illegal, he's completely for that, right? So, and if you talk about, let's talk a bit about the history of DACA, Sam. So it was, like you also mentioned, that it was created by President Obama in June 2012 through an executive order implemented because the Congress, like I said, like the Congress failed to pass the Dream Act, which would have provided a path to citizenship for many undocumented immigrants. And they could have faced legal challenges and attempts to end the program, particularly during the Trump administration. So when in 2017, when Trump in his first term, when he put a ban on DACA, then in 2021 it was reinstated by President Biden in January. But it still faces ongoing legal battles. So there's a lot actually to talk about it, and what has to actually do to qualify for DACA. So let's also talk about that. So if an applicant has, if they've arrived in the US before their 16th birthday and
Yeah.
have lived continuously in the US since June 15, 2007, and if they are under 31 years old as of June 15, 2012, and they are physically present in the US on June 15, 2012, and at that time of application and have no lawful status on June 15, 2012, and so these are few things, and they have not been convicted of any felony or significant misdemeanor, or maybe or three or more other misdemeanors, so they can be the applicants, or they can at least apply for DACA. So this is how the process, or how one can be an applicant of DACA. So this is what you know and this is the actually the history and the application of DACA actually is about. And yes, so Sam, what do you think? I mean, you were actually asking me that what do I think about it, and is Trump going to dismantle it or not? But
It
if
will
I ask
definitely.
your point of view, do you think it is correct for Trump to ban DACA, or do you think it is correct for the Trump administration to be in favor of dismantling DACA?
See, I think that if something hasn't been misused, and if it's going to happen, then I don't think there's any problem, to terminate it. But if something like if DACA, if it's going to misuse and if it's going to make America, I mean, deteriorate, then I think it's also a good idea to terminate that program anyhow. Because some or the other, you have to protect your country. That doesn't mean that you have to be very soft, you have to be very lenient, you have to be harsh. And it's also that they also don't have any other option left, right? Because they have invited so many immigrants, but now also if we can see that America is not that great how it used to be. Inflation, housing rents are so much, then also beggars are also there. As we will see the history of America, it was completely different. And
Mhm.
now it is how, I don't know that what is the actual reason behind it, but Trump means that it is also because of the illegal immigrants. So if this is also the reason, then I think this is also a good idea, and it's important also to terminate them. But for
Mhm.
DACA, this has been a very controversial and a very sensitive topic because it involves children.
Mhm.
So it seems that how can someone be so harsh for children? Children are the most innocent, the most softest people alive in the whole world. And that too, I also remember, Rajni, that Tom Homan, when he was in his interview, it was asking that how can you terminate children? How can you separate children? Then he said that he's not going to separate children. He's going to
You put them
separate
together.
the family. Yeah. So it was like, oh my God, he's so blunt, he's so bold. But I think, but anyhow, Trump's administration is not trying to, separate the families within them. They are going to separate families like outside the US. So I think that can also be the
But
thing.
honestly, Sam, I feel, I mean, I know where you're coming from. I know you are a soft person and that's how you think. And I'm not saying that I'm not a soft person, but I think, if you have to run a country, and so I don't think so that country would run on emotions or feelings,
True.
right? So if you're soft, you firstly have to be, I think we did one show where I already have said this, that charity begins at home. You will have to first think for your own family, your own country people,
Mhm.
your own citizens, and only then you can think about the outsiders. Only when your own people are happy, prosperous, are not under any crisis, are not under any any problem. Because if you see right now, there is so much going on in the US because of illegal immigration. So every day we hear. So I'm not entirely saying, I'm not entirely putting it on the illegal immigrants. I know that there have been legal immigrants who have also been, who have also done crimes and who have also been criminals. But then,
Right.
you can't ignore the fact that there have been illegal immigrants who have created a chaos and who have done things which are not in favor of the US, right? So if you see, and if you look at the history, so I don't think so that before 2020, when Trump actually lost in 2021, before that, America was under so much crisis, or
Yeah.
it was facing this much problem. But after Biden's administration, after the Democrats won in 2021, and they
Right.
allowed a lot of illegal immigrants, then it faced a lot of problems. Then it went through a lot of crisis, whether you talk about inflation. I know then, the COVID also came, and it not only affected America, but it affected the world as a whole.
Yeah.
But then you can't ignore that America has always been the superpower, right? Whether other if you talk about other countries, and if other countries' situation have gone down, but people still will expect that, so US's condition will also go down, but they will expect US to grow uh, at a much higher rate than other countries. And if that's not happening, then I don't know if I should say this, then how are you a superpower, right? So I think so. There are a lot of things to look at it, but illegal immigration has definitely been the major reason behind it, and which is why the Trump administration has been against DACA. And see, anything. So, like I said, anything undocumented. If you don't have the documents, then how are you a legal citizen, right?
See, that's completely okay. We understand. But Rajni, there is also, like, according to USCIS, around 700,000 individuals. They are currently in this program in Dhaka. So these individuals who came to the US, as a children, they have grown there. They pursued their education. They build their careers, and now they are also working there somewhere on the other. So now, if they have been into this, termination kind of thing, deportation, so it also seems that, if you have been working in a country, if you have been earning there, you automatically get attached to it. And it's also that you won't do something illegal to that country. So I think, instead of only focusing on illegal immigrants, it should also focus that who is doing crime. It should be, divided into that way, not specifically who has document, who has not document, because there are also children, so it's something, should be leniency with children too. And that too, even with 700,000 individuals, I think this is also very impossible. And Rajni, I would also like to show one video.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, that is
Then maybe
literally.
after that we can talk about what potential impact, if it is banned and if it is dismantled, then what potential impact it is going to have in the US. So, but
Mhm.
before that, Sam, please go ahead and share the video with our audiences and also with me.
Yeah, sure. And I think this video is little emotional, so I think.
Oh my God! So I am completely favoring. I'm in favor of. Uh, you know, I'm not completely, but okay. Let's. Oh my God! Let's watch this video. Maybe if we
All
can
right,
have it
early
on.
this morning, this was the scene at the Detroit airport. This is a goodbye That just doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. This is a father saying goodbye to his wife and two teenage children. His name is Jorge Garcia. He was brought to the United States by his parents when he was 10 years old. Today, after living and working here for 30 years, Jorge Garcia was deported to Mexico. His wife, Cindy, says he has no criminal record, he has paid his taxes, and that he is a good man. Cindy Garcia was born here. She's a citizen. She says they tried to do the right thing. Their lawyer filed the wrong paperwork. This is a story you hear so often about people getting caught up in the system, and they're on the wrong track, and it's deportation, and it's fighting for delays. And after 30 years of doing everything right, except for Jorge being born a little later, if Jorge were a year younger, he would qualify as a dreamer. But he missed it, so he doesn't. And after getting extensions under the Obama administration, the new administration, under Trump's order, is cracking down. So that's what happened this morning. On the day that we celebrate Martin Luther King, this man had to leave his family. The story about it has been retweeted more than 40,000 times. We talked to Cindy just before the show. Here's what she had to say. What do you tell your kids?
I tell them to be strong. I tell them we're going to get through this. We're not the only family that's out there. It affects 11 million other people. But at least I can come forward and tell my story because I am a U.S. citizen and I do not have to hide in any shadows.
What are you telling yourself about this that'll make it okay?
Just to be strong, that it is our law and I have to respect it because I am a U.S. citizen and I do want ICE to protect our borders because I do not want terrorists to enter. But at the same time, it devastates me because each individual case needs to be looked at separately, not as a group.
You saw the footage of you guys saying goodbye at the Detroit airport. What was the last thing you said to your husband?
I love you and I'm going to miss you.
Do you think you'll be able to find a way through this? What do you say to President Trump?
He needs to fix this broken immigration system and find a right way to citizenship.
What do you want him to know about your husband?
That he's not a criminal. Yes, he was brought here at 10 years old. And yes, he entered the country illegally, but he has no criminal record and his case needs to be looked at individually because he deserves to be here in a country that he's known, not Mexico.
This is not an easy set of circumstances you've been set. And as you know, the law is so much in flux. We don't know what the DACA deal could be. We don't know if that remedy would be extended in any way to people like your husband. Unfortunately, it's a waiting game at best. I wish there was better information for you.
Yes, I even asked the ICE officer if he could extend his time because with the new DACA in place, that there is no age limit and that would make my husband eligible. And he said, well, that's up in the air, so we have no control over that at this present time. There is no DACA in place, so your husband has to leave.
Wow. I mean, that's a powerful video, but Sam, honestly, if you ask my take, I consider myself a nationalist, a patriot. So, if you talk about, people getting, see, there's a law that has to be followed. Of course, there's a law that has to be followed. People have to go through that law. But if you have to be emotional, there are soldiers who are giving their life away, whose families are affecting, they are dying every day protecting their countries, right? They're dying every day protecting their countries. And though a lot of families, the parents of the soldier, the wife of the soldier, the grandparents of the soldier, the relatives of the soldier, they are getting affected, right? So there's a lot of things to get emotional about. But if things are happening illegally, I don't think so. You can be emotional about it because nation comes first, country comes first, and if it is not in favor of your country, whatever that the government does, I am for it.
No, that I completely understand. And that's a very, that's a very obvious thing. And that has to be that you need to go with proper documents. You need to follow a proper law wherever you are living. That's how you can lead a civilized society. But, Rajni, this is also the way that, people are going through. These are also the impacts, that people are facing. So it's not only about that if there's an illegal immigrant, that that's a bad person, because we have these thoughts in our head that if he's an illegal immigrant, that means that he's a criminal. So no, it's not actually about that. It should
So,
also
Sam, I would
be.
like to ask you a question. I would like to ask you a question. Okay, you're absolutely correct. You are correct that if if you are if a person is an illegal immigrant, then that doesn't necessarily mean that he or she is a criminal. But
Mhm.
then, why do you have to be an illegal immigrant? That being an illegal immigrant is itself is the biggest crime. You are entering a country without documents, without the legal way, with not the legal way. You're entering a country illegal way. So doesn't that make you a criminal?
See, officially, that will definitely. But Rajni, there's also different aspects, different views, that you can see. Even if a proper worker, even if H1B worker, if he's also trying to have US visas, then they also get the visa appointments, the interviews a year later. So these are the something
So
maybe
then
the
you will have to
government.
okay. So you're getting the visa interviews a year later. So then it gives you the permission to enter the country illegally.
Not
Is
maybe
it?
that, no, not for the H1B workers, but also for who are taking asylum, who are running away from the country, maybe because of some terrorist attack, or maybe something that is violent, some any explosion that may happen to that country, that they need to have that asylum seeker. So if that is the case, then I think there won't be any situation left,
So then, Sam, you must
right?
be having, then the person must have some proofs to, let's have some documents or something to prove it, right? If you are saying, if you're calling yourself Sam, and if you say that you are a host for Immigration and Jobs Talk Show, you have some proof to show it, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't have some proof to show it, then how does it make you the host, or how does it, how can I call you Sam? You must be having something to prove it,
No,
right?
of course,
So
that should be.
that is
That
my
should
so
be,
that
yeah.
is actually my question. If you don't have the documents, if you don't have the proof to show it, then and you are entering just because you're not you have your visa appointment a year later, or you are having problems entering the country, but you desperately want to get in, and then that does not give you the permission to illegally enter it, whether through asylum, whether through DACA, or now we are also talking about Trump, that Trump is dismantling this, and Trump is against, in favor of mass deportation and all this. But then if you talk particularly about DACA, so don't you think the person who implemented it should be the person responsible for it?
I think so, definitely. And that is why, for Trump, it is I mean, he is definitely not in favor of this. And that is why he is going ahead and trying to terminate this. But like, I don't know why the person who has implemented, why isn't he responding about it, or why it is something that we people need to hear. I don't know that what is something that is going on right there. So I think it's a big chaos over there. So I think we need to find it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So if the person is, I mean, see, I think I'm not completely in favor of Trump, like deporting people. I'm not completely in favor of that because each case is different, like you said. But I obviously, I think that he's somewhere trying to fix it. And but if somebody has allowed people to enter their country without documents, and then and live their country with no documents at all, then I think, rather than I mean accusing Trump, I think we should accuse the person who actually implemented this law and allowed people to do it, because I think the person who actually did it should be responsible, because you never know, like your government is for 4 years, then the other government comes, and then the people who are in the country, what if they goes against this law and they deport them, then their life is going to be affected, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you have to be very careful when implementing these kind of laws, because firstly it might, okay, it's, of course it is benefiting your country. If it is benefiting us, let's talk about the impact DACA has. I was talking about that. After the video, we are going to talk
Yeah.
about the potential impacts DACA has. So it definitely is going to affect the economy. Deporting DACA recipients could harm the US economy by removing significant portion of the workforce, and then social disruption. Many DACA recipients have lived in the US for most of their lives,
Yeah.
if starting 16 years, they are allowed to live there legally if they're under 16 years. So many of the recipients have lived in the US for most of their lives and are integrated into the communities. Their removal could, of course, cause substantial social upheaval. And then, there are legal challenges also. Any attempt to end DACA will likely face immediate legal challenges, like potentially delaying implementation. And then, so there are a lot of things. And it is when actually President Obama, he implemented this, then it was also said that there was political pressure, that there was a significant pressure from immigrant advocates and supporters who employed various tactics to push for action on behalf of undocumented youth, because they were already there. So, there was a political pressure on him. So that's why he actually implemented this.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the purpose, of course, the purpose of DACA was to help young immigrants who grew up in the US but don't have a legal status. But then, if you don't have a legal status, I feel you should try to do something to prove yourself legal, right?
Of
Um,
course, definitely.
yeah, because otherwise, I mean, I'm sorry to say, but otherwise, you will be considered as a criminal, because whether you commit any crime or not, the first thing that you have to do to be a citizen of a country or to stay in a country is to have legal documents. And if you don't have that, you're illegal. And illegal itself means you're committing a crime,
Right, right. And
right?
Rajni, there is also that many people support the idea of allowing dreamers to stay in the US and to gain legal status. While some on the other people, they are also arguing that DACA is an overreach of executive power, and critics say that Congress should be one to make decisions about immigration law. So now this is a kind of a critical point of debate that could influence future policy decisions as well. And there was also some kind of alternatives also that some lawmakers and advocates have also pushed for permanent solution like Dream Act. So this was a kind of a bill that was provided a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, but that has never been made it through Congress, and I don't think that this will ever be implemented until and unless it's Trump. So, but they tried to make some kind of alternative also, to keep those dreamers as a permanent resident in America. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And but from America's side also, like they also tried to not abandon them, to accept them. But I think some on the other things didn't happen, and it's like now being a very controversial and very sensitive topic. That now how it is.
Honestly, Sam, even if Trump doesn't take immediate action, executive action, then ongoing, there are a lot of legal challenges and legal battles happening for DACA. So ongoing legal challenges could lead to DACA's termination, because if you see, a federal court in Louisiana is currently considering the program's legality. So whether it is legal or not. So there's already been a case in Louisiana. Louisiana. Okay, I don't. Why am I fumbling? And so is currently considering the program's legality. So federal court in Louisiana's court. I'm so sorry. See, now I've started fumbling.
That's okay. It's
I'm
Trump's
so
line.
passionate. I've become so passionately. I'm so passionately talking about it that I've started fumbling also.
Okay, Rajni, I can see that here we have Mohammed with us, and he's asking that I have a question. But after that, he didn't reply anything. So, Mohammed, please go ahead, and we will definitely be here to answer.
Okay, so Mohammed, why don't you join the session with us? Why don't you have a conversation with us on this topic? Please join us, and yes, we would love to hear you. Okay, he says, I have a question, but I don't know, for some reason, I'm not able to see the chats.
Maybe there's some kind of technical glitch. And I can also see that
And
Ryan.
Ryan is also here. He says,
Hi, I'm Brazilian. So, Ryan, please it's a very great opportunity that you can also come to this platform and share your
Yes,
thoughts
please
also.
join the platform, guys. We have been so passionately talking about it that we forgot to actually invite you guys. But this program is actually for you, so please join us. I think because I thought because I for some reason I don't know I'm not able to see the chats, and I don't know it's something wrong. Maybe I should join back again. So I thought maybe people are not commenting, so that's why I was going on and on with my thoughts and viewpoints.
No,
So
we have viewers also. We have Pooja Patel also. So I think there's a good amount of that people are
let me,
commenting us.
Sam, please go ahead and please ask people to join. Let me refresh this and join back. I don't know
Sure,
what
sure,
problem
sure.
am
No
I facing.
problem, no problem. All right. So, guys, as we have been talking about today's topic, that is a very sensitive and very controversial, the future of DACA, how it's going to be, and will it end under a second Trump administration? So, I think this is a very different topic, and with the possibility of second Trump administration is also that deferred action for childhood arrivals is finally come to an end or not. We are going to explore today and also about what are the potential impacts of dreamers and also the policies that could be implemented and
Mhm.
some real life stories too that will be very sensitive, that will be very touchy. So stick around and also don't lose an opportunity to join us to comment us, because we would love to take each and every comments of yours and we would love to know your thoughts. What do you think? So please go ahead and feel free to comment and to reply and to join us too.
Right now, I see people's, our viewers' comments. I'm so sorry for some reason. I was just going on and on with my own viewpoints. So, guys, please join us. This show is dedicated, and this show is actually made so you guys can join us on this platform and share your viewpoints. What do you think about this, and what changes do you expect the government to do? So please join us. And I think we already have a link for you. Maybe what we can do is we can. I would like to request our control to please share the link in the comment section. Maybe we can share the link. We can share the link on all the platforms wherever we are live. We are not only live on YouTube but also on LinkedIn, and we can already see that Ryan has actually commented on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So hi Ryan. He says I'm a Brazilian. So hi Ryan. We are happy that you joined our session. Please also join the link. Click on the link and join our conversation. So the link is already here. You can directly click on the link and join the conversation and share what do you think about the DACA program, and what do you think? Is Trump going to dismantle it, terminate it, ban it? And are you in favor of that? Sam is not in favor of that. Um, I okay. I feel that I'm not also completely against it.
But
Um,
some on the other you are kind of
yeah,
favored.
yeah,
See,
I
that's
favor because
completely
like
okay.
I said, Sam, I have a passion for the nation. So if
See,
anything is
that's
going against the
yeah.
nation's interest, then I'm completely
See,
against
that
it.
has to be. And, I'm not saying that if there are so many illegal immigrants, then they have to just keep on allowing them to their country. Of
Hmm.
course, that is also wrong. But, you should be a little flexible about, you should think like what other people are facing. It's not only about if everyone is illegal. So it doesn't mean that, everyone is bad. Of course, it's something that laws, that ethics, that has to be followed. And I'm not saying that that's okay if you're undocumented. That's something very wrong and that's something you need to be. But you should also look in different perspective also. This is how people are suffering. This is how people are going through. So, instead of being practical, you should also think little, I mean, be little sensitive
See,
also.
Sam, honestly, I feel to run a country, you have to be very practical, you have to be very logical, and you have to be strict.
Nowadays,
Yes,
you
to be
have to
emotional, if you are going to be soft with your decisions, I know it's going to help a lot of people, but I don't think so. It's going to help your own country.
see
So
nowadays though, it's like that you have to be very much practical.
yeah. So I think this is the reason why Trump also won, right? I mean, because he was being
Of course.
practical. He was favoring mass deportation. He was all for illegal, going against illegal immigration. And he was, even his whole team, right? They were favoring it. They were favoring mass deportation. And now if you talk about mass deportation, how many million people are there? I think 11 million or 13 million, somewhere
11,
around 11 or 13 million,
11,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
now if you like take one by one, each person is going to have a separate case. Each person is going to have an emotional story,
Yeah.
a life story. But you will have to choose a path. You will have to pick a path if you have to save your country. Maybe Trump can start another nation with those 11 million people. How about that? He can buy an island, and
We
maybe
can.
when
But, Rajni, I
Trump
would
is
also
planning
like
to deport them, why not, start another country with those 11 million people,
I think he can do that, and he's such
right?
a great in influencing, that people can easily get influenced and they can follow each step of what Trump says. But Rajni, I would also like to ask you a question that in case if second Trump administration is into DACA, so do you think that they are definitely going to end it, or do you think that there's can be some kind of policies that they are going to implement it?
See, honestly, how blunt Tom Hooman is, how blunt. Okay, I would like to actually share one video with you before I answer that. I
Yeah.
would actually like to share one video with you of Matt Gates, who has just been hired as Attorney General, who's been appointed actually. I think I would be a wrong word. So let me just quickly share that video with you. Okay, so you can see Trump's administration. Tom Hooman, we have already discussed
Yeah.
about him, right? We have already shared his videos. So let me also share Matt's video with you. Where is it? Okay.
Thumb.
Okay, I'm playing it.
Like, why is it that the women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions? Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
So now you know. Now you know whether they are going to, bring some policies or they are directly going to ban it. What do
God.
you think, Sam? Now I think
I don't know about I don't know about policies, but I am like, oh my God, how can someone be so blunt? And this is very offensive, and that too he's saying
like I
that
said, be
be
offended.
offended. Yeah, I mean, oh God. I don't know how this is going to be. If this is going to help America in this way only, being blunt and being rude, then I think that's good. And if this is going to deteriorate America, then I think they should work on this. I think these are the leaders who are being so much I mean being they are being talking about everything so bluntly. So
Like how they say, in your face. So saying they are saying everything in your face. They are not holding it back. So Sam, honestly, if you talk about it, I mean, if looking at Trump's administration, you can't say that whether they are going to implement some policies, bring some policies to help those people, or whether they are going to directly dismantle it and ban it. I think they are going to completely dismantle it and ban it if they are given a choice. If something happens in between, then they might have to do something about it. But if they are given a choice, I think that they will be completely, for termination.
I think they can, yeah, definitely. And now they are so open about it. They are not even fearing of anything. You know how how politicians we used to see. They were very diplomatic. They used to feel something. They used to say something. But now, specifically in Trump's administration, we can see that these politicians, I think they are brutally honest. Whatever they feel like, they are just on their face. So I think this is also something that Americans do like about Trump, and that is why Trump has also won. So I think this is something that I don't
I think
want
this
to.
is the reason why he won for the second time, right? I mean, there must be something that he did right in his first term, and there must be something that the Democrats did wrong in this from 2021 to until 2024, right? There must be
Yeah, of
something.
course.
So otherwise, see all the swing states, all the six swing states. No, I don't think so. Even Trump himself was expecting it.
Maybe I don't know whether Trump was expecting this or not, but I think other than Americans, there was no one who was really expecting. Everyone were expecting Kamala Harris to win, and because
Even us, right? While we were having a conversation on our shows,
because we
even
also
we were
talked.
expecting it, right?
Exactly. We also talked and we were like almost confirming that no, we think that Kamala Harris is only going to win and she's the one who is going to be, 47th president. So it was something very shocking and it was something, but this is what we see now that how the people who are actually living there, they get to know what they are suffering from. So I think if they have elected Trump, so there might be something on the other that they were suffering from, and they were, confident enough that Trump is only going to take care of them.
Yes,
So
absolutely, Marga, right? That Trump is going to make America great again. So honestly, if you think about DACA, Sam, so DACA is actually like, imagine, you have been secretly using your neighbor's Wi-Fi for these years, right? And one day, the neighbor comes to know, and he says, I see that you have been here for a while, and you are, um, because you have been good, so you can keep using the Wi-Fi, but you never know. I might change the password at any time.
yeah,
Actually
exactly.
like that, right? And you don't want to live a life like that, would you? Do you?
No, not at all.
So
That's how the
you have
real,
to get your own Wi-Fi,
yeah, that's a
right?
great example. That's how the DACA is all about.
Yeah, exactly. And it is like, okay, I would like to again give one more example. It's like, using maybe your friends or your cousins' Netflix, and you might never know that when would they change. Just imagine you're enjoying a show, you're relaxed, you're enjoying a show, and when in between when you're enjoying the show, just then your friend or the cousin from whom you have borrowed the password and borrowed that account decides to change their password.
That's
And
something
then
very uncertain. But
that's something very uncertain,
yeah,
right? So
and
who
that's
wants that kind of Netflix account, right?
and
It's
that's how it
hard.
is. The future of DACA, I think it's very uncertain. There's no
Mhm.
guarantee. There's nothing about it. It's all about fate, and if its fate could be determined by the outcome of the Trump's administration, then I think he is definitely going to eliminate it, and dreamers will have to once again, face a kind of a turbulent road ahead, and it's also very important, guys, to remember that immigration is a very big issue, that unites many across party lines. So keep on, I'm like, just keep on, and just keep on updating yourself with every news headlines that is going to be on the news channel. So that's also a very important way, you can keep yourself updated.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. And Sam, I have few more videos that I would like to show. That some of them are from are not the latest ones, not from 2024, but some are from like 2018 after Trump put a ban on DACA. So there are some videos from that. So let me share like.
Yeah, I think that also it will be
Mhm.
great to see us.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let me quickly share my screen and maybe show these videos.
And further time, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to
Don't forget
Immigration.
to like, share, and subscribe. And guys, please join us. The show has actually been made for you guys so that you guys can join these conversations, and can click on the link given by us in the comment section so that you can join us. You can have a conversation with us. It's okay if you don't want to be on camera with your video turned on. You can simply be with your camera turned off. So please, or maybe you can give us a call. And yes, please, but please join us. Okay, so here is the video. Let me play it for you guys. Where is it? Okay. This is from actually 2018.
All right.
Okay, you've cut off the dreamers who are here to speak. I
So Sam, these were actually the Dreamers, and she's Nancy Pelosi, and they were having this. Uh,
But we can
yes.
see that how much people are actually fighting, how much they are
Mhm.
vocal. It's something I literally feel bad now.
Yes, yes. I think this was like a conference or something where these all dreamers were there and they were shouting and they were, against Trump banning it.
Yeah,
So it was like a nightmare for them. So then let's quickly read some comments here.
sure.
So I think Miguel is here who says President of the United States needs to sign an executive. He actually commented 22 hours back and he says needs to sign an executive order to give DACA recipients legal status now before the mass deportation begin. So this is what he says.
All right.
But
I mean, he is preferring, to have kind of some executive order. But, that's how I don't think that Trump is going to give some kind of information. He is just on it. He will just say on a very, any day that,
but he still has. He's going to come to the office in July. So before he joins the office, before he comes to the White House, I think what Miguel wants to say is maybe the current president. President Joe Biden, he needs to sign an executive order to give the DACA recipients legal status. So
oh,
that
right.
before the mass deportation begin, after Trump comes back to the White House,
Yeah.
then there should be an executive order to make them legal. So now
Right.
let's read out what Alexander says. Alexander says what DACA established. Okay, he has actually given a. Okay, this is another post actually. Let me show it to you if I can. Okay. He says what DACA is a threat. DACA established in 2012. It is a threat from him, provided temporary relief from deportation to certain undocumented immigrants who arrived in the US as children, allowing them to work legally and study without the threat of deportation. And then he goes on to say some opponents of DACA have labeled it a scam, arguing that it did not provide a path to citizenship and was a temporary fix that did not address broader immigration reform. They basically gave an executive order, then a legislative, and advocates for DACA see it as a critical lifeline for dreamers who were brought to the US as children and often have no memory of their home countries.
Oh my God.
They argue that it allows these individuals to contribute to society without a fear of deportation. In my humble human opinion, it was just a way of 800K young, naive kids to be content with SSN and a work permit, but is basically stuck in the US to work because DACA was never a path to citizenship, at least a residency. What do you all think? So, I think DACA never said that they are going to they are going to provide citizenship
Permanent
to
citizenship, right? It's
everyone.
what they actually tried to think. They what they believed. So that is why only because it's obviously a very temporary kind of thing, temporary protection,
Mhm.
just to help those people, especially the children, those who were suffering. But as people misinterpret also to continue with the permanent residency, so I think this
Right.
is something, yeah, that shouldn't be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And here is Stephanie who says Trump again threatens status of DACA, demands border wall. Hundreds of thousands of undocumented young people, many of them children, are in limbo. Well, this is what he says. Let's see what's going to actually happen. So here's a video where a dreamer is actually
I've been living here for over 10 years.
see.
We are not what you're seeing on TV. We are people who have been living here for over 10 years. Call Arizona home.
Raina Montoya is one of more than 500,000 so-called dreamers. She's very concerned President-elect Donald Trump will keep his campaign promise to begin mass deportations and that it will include dreamers.
Day one of my new administration, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history.
The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, is an Obama-era program. It has allowed those who were brought into the U.S. unlawfully as children to obtain a renewable 2-year work permit, protecting them from deportation. During his first term, Trump tried and failed to end DACA. It's not clear what a second Trump administration would do about Dreamers.
This program itself may end, but that doesn't mean a person is subject to deportation.
Professor Lenny Benson teaches immigration law at New York Law School. She says Dreamers with a criminal record should be the most concerned about being deported.
If you have a final order of removal, and particularly if you have any criminal convictions, you would be a priority of ICE to act to remove you.
She does advise all Dreamers to get professional legal advice now ahead of Trump's inauguration.
Just being someone who's received DACA, and it's about 565,000 current people, it's too large of a group to immediately act because most of those people don't have orders. So they would have to be added to the immigration court backlog, which right now is at 3.6 million cases. So they would not be a priority to immediately remove.
Right.
Yeah.
The video is about, okay. So, yeah, if you read this post, so this actually says, as you read this on your phone, remember that the founder of Apple was a son of a Syrian immigrant. So, I mean,
That's true.
yeah. So now, this is interesting. So James Wood says this is all DACA is about. He says there's a meme where it says it's very simple to understand. Actually, if Americans won't vote for Democrats, then we will import people who will.
Wow.
So
Very interesting.
yeah, there are some videos
Mm-hmm.
about DACA. So okay, there's one person who says I have a question. ZQ, please ask your question. We would love for you to answer if we can.
We would love to also if you can join us.
Yes, we would love if you can please join the session. So ZQ says, didn't the man get time to get his passport, his green card, and his citizenship over the years? Exactly my point. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making it clear. Thank you so much, ZQ, for being on my side. If you are, living in a country, so you have, if a person is saying that I am living in this country for 10 years, then why didn't he work on it? Exactly. If you are living in a country for more than 10 years or 15 years, then you have enough time to, have documents ready, have things ready to prove yourself as a legal immigrant or as a legal citizen. So yeah.
And now we are seeing such a huge rush because till now, those illegal immigrants, they were completely sitting on their sofas and relaxing that till now nobody has taken any step against them. Then future is also like that, and when Trump comes, so they are very much scared right now that they are being thrown away from that country. So that's why I think, it's
So yes, Vicky also says the country where I am from, we have to have national ID cards and passports. It's that simple. I think everywhere, right? Everywhere. You have to have your national ID cards and passport to prove your nationality. And even if you are an immigrant in another country, then you must be having some documents. And if you don't have the documents, so Sam, like I was saying in the beginning, it itself makes you a criminal. I'm so sorry that I'm saying this, but
but that's right, that's how you are going to live, and that's how I think every citizen should be like that. Even
absolutely.
if you're not having your identity, then I think there's no
What if
value.
tomorrow you go and I mean, I'm not putting it on, I'm not like blaming anyone or putting it on anyone, but so you don't have, okay, you love the country, you have been there, you work for the country, but then you don't have the documents to prove it, right? So yeah, I mean, like ZQ says, DACA just seems to confuse everything. Exactly. I mean, it does. Maybe if we can have an episode on DACA with an attorney so that the attorney can explain it to us and also properly to the audiences so that we can get a clarity on what actually DACA is and if if it is actually confusing or if it is really that simple, and whether Trump is um being too strict on it. So yeah, maybe we should have an episode with one attorney
I
on
think yeah,
DACA. How
that
about that?
yeah, I think that's very important, and that will make our audience also give some different opinions and will make them understand in a better
Right.
way. So I think that will be a great we can have one more episode with our attorney on this topic. So
Definitely, definitely. I think that attorney will help us, clear this confusion whether DACA is this simple or is actually confusing. But
okay.
with that, I think also before we accuse Trump of, going against and mass deporting and going banning DACA or being against DACA, I think we should be not accusing, but we should be asking the question to the person who actually implemented this. Because, you should be thinking it, you should be like researching properly, being a president. You should not come under political pressures if you are making and implementing these kind of laws, because see, now
See, that's why people are, selected Donald Trump because I don't
well,
think
that's what, yeah,
Trump.
Mr. Barack Obama, I guess. Yes, yes, thank you. I don't want to take the name, but now that you have, I think I've read it. But thank you for your comment.
Yeah. But Rajni, I don't think that Trump is going to be under, I mean, is he's going to come any political pressure, even when he is working. I think he's very strong and people are going to feel pressurized when they will work under him, not he. So I think this is also how a leader should
Absolutely.
be, right?
Absolutely, no, absolutely. I don't think so. He's going to be pressured
Not.
um, by any person or by any, he's going to be under any kind of pressure. I don't think so. It's going to happen. At least with Trump, I don't think so. Maybe he's going to pressurize other people, but he
He
himself
will.
is not going to be pressured, definitely. With that, I think maybe we can wrap the session, but we can wrap the session on a fun note. Sam, yesterday, I think you and Nepasa, you discussed Doge, right? That Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, they both have been appointed for Doge, and they are going to take care of that department. So, yes, so I have a meme that I would actually like to share with our audiences, and maybe we can end with that. We should end with on a fun note.
Of
So,
course. After all, we have seen so, sensitive and emotional videos. So I
right,
think it's
right.
better to have a little positive impact of today's episode.
Absolutely. So I think
Okay.
okay. So
All right.
this video actually says Elon Musk first day. Let me read it out. Elon Musk first day at Doge. I'm crying. Okay. So this is a meme, this is actually dubbed. So
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. First, I want to know who is our fact checker, huh? Yeah, that would be me. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Why are you asking? Yeah. Well, here's a fact. You're fired. Yeah. Well, here's another question. Anyone here hate space travel? Anyone? All right, you're fired. All right, let's relax. Let's play some music. You're fired. See ya. Yeah, you suck, man. Well, guess what? You're now fired, Steve. Now, let me ask, do any of you own Teslas? I see. For the two that did not raise their hand, you know what's up.
You're fired.
So, yes, let me know by raising your hand if you're okay working over 100 hours a week, but not receiving overtime pay. I guess just fired.
Wait. Is it just me, or don't you think that you and Amber Heard would have made a great couple?
Yeah, I agree. Alright, you can stay. Now let's bring in the next class. Hi. Yo, listen, everyone. Raise your digital hand if you think Amber Heard got a fair trial.
So that was the video.
This was so interesting.
Yeah, that when he bought Twitter and he fired 80% of the staff. So,
This is how
the
it was.
name actually said that first day of Trump, sorry, not Trump, first day of Elon at Doge.
Yeah,
So, yes, we can wrap it up. Thank you so much, Sam. It was great being here. And
yeah.
hopefully, Nepasa is going to be back tomorrow and who's going to co host the show with you. But I enjoyed co hosting the show with you, and we had a great topic. So, any end note from you?
I would just like to say, firstly, the video was amazing. And about DACA, I would say that, guys, it is very uncertain and still it's something very, I mean, we are not sure what to conclude for DACA's future and how it's going to be. But, staying informed and definitely going to have a proper documented, make yourself legalized, and, that is how you're going to lead a beautiful life, not only in US, but everywhere. And I think that also, Rajni, thank you so much, for your co-hosting. Also, it was also a very great pleasure for me also to co-host with you, and I too enjoyed it. And to our viewers also, thank you so much who has joined us today. And we would love to have you also, to participate with us as much as possible. So go ahead, and we are here every day, every streaming live at 4 p.m. EDT for you, daily immigration dose. So, guys, just keep on subscribing, liking, and sharing to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show.
Absolutely. 4 p.m. EST, guys. We are always having this show every day at 4 p.m. EST. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure that you join the show, and not only join the show, not only by clicking on the live session, but also joining it literally with us, like uh, joining the link by clicking on the link and joining the session literally and talking to us, whether with your cameras turned off or cameras turned on. But we would love to have you in our shows, and we would love to talk to you and to know what you think about these topics. What do you want? What kind of implementation do you want the government to do? And what are you for mass deportation, or are you against mass deportation? Please let us know. So yes, make sure that you are always tuning at 4 p.m. EST. And yes, we'll see you tomorrow. And bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe and take care. Don't forget to subscribe to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. I am Rajni Barara signing off, and signing off, Sam.
Yeah, and everyone, I would like to say that thank you so much for joining us, and take care and see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sam signing off for now.